And here we are. Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, November 6th, the day after Election Day here in the US of A. And welcome, everybody. Hey, Ben, how are you?
Hello, hello. I'm good. How are you? It's been a
Good.
while.
Yes, we have been chatting for about 3 minutes. And the last time we chatted was really the last Camera Flask, which was back in September, which is garbage. Not Camera Flask, but just not talking that often. So good to see you. And if you're wondering, everybody who's here so far, all 11 of you at the moment, and let's get those numbers up. Caleb will be joining us in a few minutes. He's dealing with a couple of, I'm going to say, technical difficulties. I have no idea.
But who knows, really? It could be anything.
It could be anything. And Scott is here. What's up, Scott? We're going to have a little chat about this whole Alaska thing and off the grid. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, that's a thing.
I have seen.
Pat, DJ Secretash in the house. Brandon, of course, is here hanging out. He's not on the project. Probably sending me an email right now with pictures of his latest studio or production. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, there you go. And who's getting walloped by what? What are they talking about?
I think this is the flu. The flu. They're all
ill.
Yeah.
I was when I got back from Europe. Jess got something, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. And then no, I wasn't good. So it's just in the last couple of days that I feel like I'm totally I'm totally in the clear now. And Brandon, you're in bed with the flu. I am so sorry to hear about that. That is pretty awful. And thank you for being here in that situation and having to listen to my grating voice for an hour. So this is Camera Flask. If you've never been to this, it's a monthly live stream on the C47 channel. We do it if we can the first Wednesday of every month, and we just chat about anything. And here he is. He's coming in. We're live. Let's see. Oh, I see activity happening. I'm not switching over to the 4UP yet. They're in the green room. He's making adjustments. No, you're not live. I'm talking to you, Caleb. I see you in like the green room, but you tell me, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to head on in. Oh, well, and boom, there he is.
Hello.
Hey, Caleb.
Man. Good unbelievable. So unprofessional. How's everyone doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great. You sound great.
Okay, great.
You look beautifully bald. And David just came
glasses.
In. Yes, and Brandon has the flu and is in bed, but he's emailing me pictures, as DJ says, of his snot rag, I guess. Maybe that is what I'm getting. I don't know. You never know. Pat, what's up? And by the way, Caleb, before we get into our drinks, we've got some of the usuals here. Scott is here. Balcom, who has, I don't know if he has moved or he is moving to Alaska. I see lots of social media
very
posts.
Pretty pictures. Of
yes, but lots
very
of
nice
snow,
mountains and snow. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, but I don't know what's going on there. It's like the opposite of Texas. Okay, so November 6th, Camera Flask, time to drink. Gentlemen, who's first? Anybody?
I'll go. It'll be quick and it'll be very Ben-esque. So today I'm actually going wine.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, hey,
and I have no idea what it is.
Fancy
label.
Read it. What do you mean you didn't read it? Well, read it to us.
Bunch of French stuff. Something 2019. We had a not to get
some
political,
French stuff.
But a watch party last night just for kicks.
Yeah.
And we just hung out, ate a bunch of chili, some sourdough biscuits.
That's funny. I did Mexican last night too. That's what I did. I did Mexican. I didn't do chili.
Mexican.
Yeah.
Well, I said Mexican. Chili. Like
Oh, you mean like
what is
Texas,
chili?
like Balcom? No,
Yeah,
you're right.
like
when I think of
chili,
chili, I think of like chilies. So that messed me up. You mean chili? And do you
chili,
mean like,
yeah, like
was it just a
crock
meat
pot
chili, vegetable chili, or did you put beans in it?
meat,
Beans, no
all of
beans.
it. I didn't make it. It was a friend of
Yeah.
ours, and he crushed it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this is. I really don't. Is it a red
I hope
mix?
it tastes as good as it looks. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a
What a
nice
label.
nice label. So
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
There you go.
All right. Who's next? Is that you, Ben? Let's go. You're up.
All right. So this is because I've generally been much better on drinking the last year or so. This has been sitting in my cupboard since last.
Is that a Kool-Aid? What? Wait. Oh yeah. Oh, Glenlivet 12. Yes.
It's a Glenlivet 12, and I decided that tonight, because I haven't seen you both for ages, and I don't think drinking properly last time, or generally haven't been getting involved to the extent that I normally do of late. So I'm cracking it because it's been a bit of a week.
Yeah.
With one thing and another. So I figure, let's toast the whatever new world and
taste America. Toast America.
It's an occasion, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Very nice. All right. So we got a scotch.
What do you
want?
And
oddly enough, do I have a single here? I think I do. Here we go. Oh no. It doesn't like that. I'm just going to stay in the little box here. Everything got reprogrammed. It's totally fine. Everything's okay here. Don't worry about it. Actually, you know what? I might do it, even though I shouldn't. Should I? I'm going to hover. Is that me? I think that's me. Maybe I'm wrong. No. I can't see. I'm blind. There I am. Oh, no, forget this. I'm out. Okay, here we go. I am having, oddly enough, which is because I did have scotch last night. I am having a very inexpensive French Cab Syrah blend that I've never had.
Oh, no kidding.
From Trader Joe's, but it is France 2022. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. But I was going to do a Chianti because we just got back from Italy recently, but and we were drinking a lot of those when we were there. But I said, I'm going to open this. So that's what I'm having. I'm having wine as well. And normally I would be having scotch. I was tempted.
It's kind of a shame we're not. Generally, it's a shame we're not all together. But we could have just done a bottle between us. That would have been
that would have been great. Well, cheers everybody
awesome.
I have scotch behind me. So if this is awful, it was like probably $7 a bottle, so it'll become cooking wine. So I'll switch to something else if I hate this. Okay.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's lovely.
Actually, it's okay. It's good afternoon wine, if there is such a thing. What is going on here? Scott, is smoking legal in Alaska? What are we talking about here? Brandon is asking you, Caleb, did you get LASIK or some sort of thing where you're not wearing
PRK?
PRK, of course you did.
Oh yeah, as to why I'm not wearing glasses. Is it weird for everyone? It's almost weird for me, like seeing myself in video.
No.
I think I might pop the lenses out of the old glasses and just wear them like on
just
camera.
Prop glasses. Yeah. No reflections.
So PRK, which is similar to LASIK. It's just another way of doing it. That is, I guess, a little less risks, but
nice.
Yeah.
Did you fly to some like other country? Is that like the other country version?
Middle of nowhere, Illinois, Sycamore, Illinois.
Oh,
there's like the Enterprise out of nowhere. There's this crazy laser place. So yeah, had it done, and it's just now starting to even out, so I can actually see. So it's very exciting.
Nice.
And the other day I went out in the rain, and I was like this, and I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about my glasses getting wet anymore. It's amazing.
Nice.
So. Is it good?
I inquired about it. They told me I was too old.
What? Too old?
Yeah,
no, I mean,
I was actually making a promo film for a surgeon that does it, and he just said, "No, laser replacement for you. Once you get to 40 lasers, you're done."
Really?
Okay, so from my understanding, it's still doable, but I will need glasses when I'm. So all right, I guess we'll just go here. We'll just dive right in.
Yeah.
I'm nearsighted, so I can see close up. I can't see far away. All of us, everyone, will need readers later in life. That number varies. Some people it's 30, some people it's 50, 60, but you're going to need them. So LASIK or PRK or whatever will correct that distance, but I'm still going to need glasses to see up to read a computer screen here. And if you get LASIK, you're actually going to speed up when you're going to need readers. So if I would have needed them at 40, I'm going to need them at like probably 38, 37.
I was going to say 37
so
and
very,
a half.
very shortly. Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Unbelievable.
So that's the downside. Yes, you're not going to have perfect vision forever. You're going to still lose your nearsightedness. But I'll be able to still go on the boat and not need to wear glasses or contacts or go to the beach or whatever, which is really what I care about. Or driving. I'm fine with right here. If I needed to wear glasses, that's fine. It's the having to wear them everywhere I go at all times. That sucks.
Lots of people weighing in on this.
That's the deal.
Pat had a good.
We got
Pat
anyone
was
else
good.
in here?
Well, Pat did it, and but he doesn't need them, and he's in his late 50s. The reading glasses. I'm DeBrown. Tony, this is Camera Flask. I don't know if you've been to this, but this is the three of us talking about nonsense in a good way. But your wife was 50 something, and then she needed readers the next year, so it's all over the place.
All over the place. Everyone's different.
Yeah, I'm having the issue now where I don't want to have multiple pairs of glasses, but I'm also nearsighted.
Bifocals. I've just got bifocals. The best thing ever.
I can't do it.
No, you can.
Oh my God.
You
no, they want me to do progressives. No, I tried it.
10 years ago.
That sounds awful.
5 years ago, I guess I went in and they were going you could do with these would be great for you, given what you do, and I went, no, that's something old people have, varifocals. I can't do that. And then this year, it's just that same thing because I'm using the R5C quite a lot, and often without a monitor, and it's so small, that menu screen, and often you're looking at subject, and it's brilliant. It's really good, and in the car it's really good because your dashboard's really sharp, distance is really sharp. It takes you have to bear with it for 2 weeks while you get over the weirdness, and then it's amazing.
Yeah, I have Scott's bringing up multifocals. Well, I have multifocals.
That's what I have. Yeah,
I have multi.
Oh, you have contacts?
Yeah, so you don't have bifocal. Yeah, I have multifocal contacts as well.
Contacts.
No, I have multifocal contacts too, which have little concentric circles, and I like those better than the progressives or bifocal ones. But who knows?
So do you? So is it? It's not weighted where it's at the bottom, right? It's on the outside.
Well. So
is it like distance in the center of the contact, and then you work out?
Kind of, yes, but it's less maddening for me. But it's still you can never get it quite as good as glasses. At least I can't with contacts. But the problem with progressives is for the near-sighted stuff, you would have to be looking near the bottom of your glasses. And when I'm looking at a camera or a monitor or whatever it is, I'm looking straight ahead. That's going to mess me up. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't wear them for monitor, and they recommend you don't use them for that. The beauty and the weird thing is, you think how much time you, me, everybody spends looking at their phone. If you're normally I'd be like this the whole time, look down, to bad neck, bad shoulders. Right. Now, because you're looking right out the very bottom of the lenses, it actually keeps your head up. And I've noticed it's kind of a little better than it's been.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting though, and you look up at a plane in the sky, is it blurry? Unless you this?
Because all the tops for distance, it's only the bottom.
Okay, so it's just the bottom. So they're weighted somehow.
Yeah,
where they
this is glasses rather than contacts. But essentially contacts. It's like a T shape kind of tapering down. So it's weird for a little bit, but anyway.
I love how
15 minutes. 15 minutes on eyesight. Though it is one of the most important things in having to do what we do for a living. Yeah. It's pretty important.
It is.
If our eyes aren't working, we're effed. All right, kids. All right, so we got some people in here. I just want to shout outs. Memo or Guillermo Montesinos is here. He's wearing 1.25s just to keep the glasses thing. I'm the Brown. Tony, I know you've been here. I didn't know, like, you're not always commenting on Camera and Flask, but you're definitely part of the family over here. Scott, tell us about this nonsense with Alaska. And I'm not saying that Alaska is nonsense. This is a life change, and it doesn't have to be here on Camera and Flask, but I am intrigued. I am fascinated with this huge shift, which I think big shifts are sometimes very healthy. So I'm excited to hear more about it, whether it's on this show or somewhere else. Yes. A multifocal colorblind colorist walks into a
What's
bar.
happening?
Yeah, he's like off the grid, even though he's on the grid because he's everywhere. So there's solar panels, and there's
we should talk, Scott.
There's moose. What's the plural of moose? I don't know. Mooses.
I think it's just moose. It's like deer.
I was feeling like wife and I are moving to Alaska. It's been a long time coming. Since 2012, we've talked about it. We finally decided it's time. Well, nobody's going to bother you up there, except for wildlife.
Yeah.
Tell me.
The thing that kind of interests me most, I'm fascinated by Alaska. I think it looks beautiful. Would be very interested to visit. I've worked quite a lot in northern Norway, and in the winter, when it doesn't actually get light at all, and I don't know how far up in Alaska you're going, Scott, but kind of how does all that work in terms of your general mental state? I think if you're spending so much time, like even here in Europe now, like it's 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yep.
And and it kind of has an effect. You feel like you're kind of in that hibernation mode.
Yeah.
You feel like you've got less energy, and I'm wondering how that's gonna, how that goes. The Norwegians I spoke to said it was worse in the summer. They actually said the winter wasn't too bad. They kind of had mechanisms to get through it. In the summer with perpetual daylight was kind of more of a.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated by the whole place. It looks wonderful, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the thing I need to understand, Scott, which I think this is amazing, but when you say you're going to be completely off grid, there's varying degrees of what people's viewpoints of off grid are. To me, off grid could mean that you're not relying upon any outside, energy sources and things like that. So it's almost homesteading, self-sufficient, but you have electricity. However you're generating it, you are using the internet, you might be on social media and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see, when you say you're going to be off grid, is it like, oh, we haven't heard from Scott for 11 months and 3 weeks, and then you show up at NAB and you're there for the week and then you fly back, to Alaska? Or is it somewhere in between? I don't know. The plural of moose is big trouble. And by the way, Brandon has the flu. Brandon has the flu, but his humor hasn't gone. That's for sure. Oh no, Darren, good to have you here. Yeah, so that's good. Okay, no connection to the grid. We'll have Starlink. Okay, that answers the question. Okay, that answers the question. So now I understand.
The solar system was kind of not going to be much use in the winter, I guess, with your 4 hours of daylight. I don't know how that works. Do you have backup generators or?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm fascinated.
4 hours.
Genuinely fascinated by this whole thing.
Cool.
Yeah. Crazy.
So what have you guys been up to? We have not talked since we've talked, which has not been for a long time.
It's been a busy few weeks.
Yeah.
So you said you're ready to crack into that scotch. What's been going on there, Ben?
So I've had a few weeks here. So not long after we spoke, I ended up getting this job out of the blue to go to South Africa to film an oil rig that was visiting Cape Town. So I had 3 days in South Africa, which was a kind of the sketchiest job I've ever done in my life. It's the first one of it. The second time where I've genuinely thought this is really dangerous and I shouldn't be here or doing this.
Oh,
and that industry is normally mega safe. mega safe.
Yeah.
So all the
And
stuff I
you
did in the
don't
North Sea and the
mean
offshore
so.
wind stuff.
Wait, can I clarify? Do you mean not safe
Yeah.
because of South Africa not safe and the crime and that, or do you mean not
No.
safe in terms of? So you mean protocols, safety protocols, and how they? Okay, got it. Okay.
So like because there's people like intermediaries that get you onto the thing, and I was staying in town, and the ways of getting you on and off the vessel were being sort of subcontracted to a local company, and that was not great. It was one of those things that's kind of, it was the first time anyone had done this stuff, but it was kind of scary. So it was a bit of a weird trip from that point of view. But interesting and great to see South Africa, and Cape Town was beautiful. And I managed to get a day. We hired a local drone company because the permits there are really complicated. They were great. I had a day out with them at the end, and they took me around to see some of the sites in the area. Beautiful place, beautiful people, super friendly. Everybody that I met there was lovely. Didn't witness any, like, there's obviously a lot of poverty there as well, but I didn't really get mugged, which I guess is there. So that was good. I've been flying a lot, got my license, so that's
awesome.
been sort of quite a lot of effort getting towards that. And what else? Oh yeah, had a colonoscopy this week. That was fun.
I'm sure it was. That's great.
And in Europe, they don't put you to sleep or give you any anesthetics. It's just like having a drain cleaner rammed up there. It's deeply unpleasant.
But you look clean. You look clean or cleaned out.
Oh, very, very,
you look
very
plumbed.
clean.
You look plumbed right now.
I'm flushed. I think is the
flushed, plumbed, flushed. The pipes are clean.
Goodness.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
how about you, Ben?
So what have you two been up
to? I'm sorry, Jem.
Me?
Yeah.
I had this trip to Europe, which was kind of a combo work wedding trip. It was Dan Fakos, who you both know, got married, which was wonderful. We did a weekend wedding in the Italian mountains and created some content there. And aside from coming home and then getting sick, it was a great trip, and definitely not nearly as busy as I'd like to be, but busier than I've been in the last 6 to 12 months. So there's more consistently sort of like promising work happening. Some false starts. One project would have been fantastic. That would have been Australia for some commercials. Hopefully that is an existing client. So hopefully that will come back again. And that's a longer story than I need to tell on this live stream. But at least there's things happening. And I also see some positive things, like people are reaching out to me for editors. And when I'm calling the editors that I normally use, most of them who were calling me a few months ago saying, do you have anything happening? When I'm calling them now, they're busy. So I'm taking that as a win for the team, hopefully. I'm hoping that trend continues, and we shall see. It can't get a lot worse than it's been for the last couple of years. I mean, anything can get worse, but I kind of feel like, and I'm hoping that we've hit the bottom and we're now climbing, out of it. So we'll see. And that's what I've been doing. I've got some sponsor videos coming up that I'm working on right now. So I've been setting up like a tabletop setup over here, and a lot of product-based stuff, and just cranking with the daily drop and trying to get more work in the door. So that's kind of the plan. And what about you, Mr. Caleb Pike? I'm sure that Camera Foundry has been keeping you busy, I'm assuming. But yeah.
Yeah. A lot of travel this summer. A lot of time off, just hanging out with the family. And we also hustled pretty hard this summer. And yeah, it's just wild how time flies. So yeah, it's just been Camera Foundry. I haven't made many videos at all. Between all of us, I'm thinking about changing the channel name to just Caleb Pike, just kind of dropping the whole DSLR video shooter thing. and then just there's a bunch of videos I want to make. And I'm almost at a point where I feel like we've caught up with camera models for Camera Foundry with Cineback. So once I have the next one done, I'm going to be able to finally like feel pretty good about where we're at with models and availability. So we just finished the Fujifilm X-H2S. We've got Panasonic. I'm going to dive into Nikon and some other stuff. But that I want to kind of get back into the channel stuff. But I also drop the DSLR video shooter thing and maybe get kind of weird with it. Not weird, but different.
Yeah.
Maybe do the videos I've always wanted to do that aren't like high view videos. Maybe even talk about tools. I don't know. Get kind of less video specific and more, stuff I've talked about wanting to do for years. More DIY, more just random stuff. Like I've got a desk that's in a box over there that I've been meaning to do a video on. Essentially, it's all these sit-stand desks we use, motorized, but with a battery. So you can roll it around, up, down, without plugging into the wall. Yeah. So stuff like that, just like who's going to watch that? Not a lot of folks. It's super niche and random, but yeah, who knows? But stuff like that. I'm going to get back into that. And, but yeah, Camera Foundry has been kind of the main focus for a while. So,
yeah, I mean, hello, super niche. Yeah. I mean, I understand what that's like. So, it's not like people are hanging down the door with
a lot about
20,000. Yeah, I'm sure.
I guess that stuff though, it's kind of wide appeal things. Dan, I don't think he's in tonight, but Dan who comes in here, Dan Moore, a lot of his company, he does, he's got a kind of digital marketing agency, really, I suppose, and he specializes in the trades. So lots of electricians, plumbers, building trade stuff. And he's carved out a real niche, and he started this podcast, which is really beautifully done. And they had one last week and it was all to do with how those producers of stuff in that industry are then using influencers to sell their wares, essentially, and how that works. And they were talking about how the business model works. And it was fascinating and completely cross-industry. And that works for everybody. Really, really interesting. So they're called Dissident, if you want to go and search for them and have a look at their, I can't remember what the podcast is called. Dissident, yeah. And so they're like really, really good content. But then as a result of that and viewing their stuff, it's now brought up loads of tradies, kind of Instagram reels and things I keep getting hit with. And there's so much of their kind of business modeling that's so relevant to all of what we do. And the way they're talking about how they're dealing with difficult customers and things, it's just kind of interesting how universal this stuff is. And I'm talking about, I was watching one today about dealing with clients that are going to be a nightmare from the very first contact.
Yep.
And just knowing when to go. Just don't. Just give them someone else's number and power, because it's going to be a problem. I just found it kind of fascinating how much crossover there is.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Caleb. By the way, Brandon, I'm tasting notes of plums, cherries, and pine bark. That's an inside joke from when Brandon came up to Oregon, and we had wine, and we were mucking about and just taking the piss. I mean, I think it's a great idea, Caleb. I mean, there's so much same as right now, and it's so noisy in sort of that category of just like talking about the same products all the time, that you either have to talk about those products with a different angle. For me, it's always, sort of an education side to it, or just do something entirely different, because I'm a big believer that even if the audience is small, your audience will find you. Or it will sort of just happen. So I think it's kind of fascinating that you're thinking about making that big shift, and knowingly, because we've seen what's happened when people have changed the name of their channel, even though they might want to change it because there's not a lot of DSLRs anymore, right? Per se.
Right.
Or somebody says that their channel is something that's specific to a camera model, not that Planet 5D was that, but that kind of idea. And that if you shift and you rebrand your channel, that can be, detrimental. But kind of the way you've kind of rolled out what you've been doing lately, it seems like it would make sense, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah. And, I was talking to Gerald at this point 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was like, just do it,
Yep.
Like if you Google or if you search me on, I think it was YouTube, or he used Google or YouTube, and he's like, Caleb Pike.
Right.
Or if you search Caleb Pike on YouTube, it's like DSLR video. Like Google and YouTube know what's up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to be a hit, and I'm sure, but I guess at this point, one of the reasons I'd be okay with it is this is kind of crazy to say for the first time, but if DSLR video shooters kind of just died, I don't think I'd be that upset. I'd be bummed if it was deleted, because it's 14 years of work.
Yep.
But at this point, it's kind of like if it's going to survive or live, it's gonna have to be something different.
Right.
So still video content, and I still enjoy video. But just lean into. I think DSLR video shooter has been always kind of awkward. It was a great keyword grabber in 2010.
Yep.
But just lean into the name thing. And other people have done it successfully. Matty Hapoya from Travel Feels. But at this point, I don't think the channel's, it's not going to hurt it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
And then just kind of lean into making stuff I want to make. I just need to do it. Just make the videos. And now that we're kind of almost caught up with where I feel more comfortable with Camera Foundry, get back into that stuff.
So Brad's the last comment in here so far, or at the moment. He says, honestly, Caleb dropping DSLR video shooter makes me think of how Gerald is also tired of the status quo. I think the camera tech bubble, I guess the camera tech bubble has burst. Let's talk about that. I mean, for me, we're kind of we're in a pretty interesting place right now where a lot of things are happening at the same time. The first one is you look at sort of if you want to talk about the companies that we respect and admire that are making equipment, and we'll talk specifically about cameras right now, sort of the summit of that, the pinnacle, is probably ARRI, however you want to say it. At the same time, it's pretty well known that they are dealing with some serious issues right now. What those are exactly, I don't know, but I know that they're definitely dealing with the realities that while they used to be here and everybody else was down here or here, the quality of what a camera can do, even on the lower end of the market, is much closer to here now than it was down here. So that gap is much smaller. And the combination of a pandemic, the strikes, the economies of the world and everything else means that a lot of people are looking at a Pixis, an FX6, a C80, anything that's a sub $10,000 or $5,000 US camera, and saying, what I can get out of this camera now, because we all know sort of what the baseline is, even on an FX30, which is ridiculous, right? Is so good overall that I think that, and then there's the other part of it, which is that there's a much better understanding of how cameras work now than 10 years ago by a much broader sense of people. So every time a new camera comes out, it's sort of like, it's a fucking camera. It's a camera, right? It can do things, and we understand how a camera works. How bad can it be now? Not so bad. Same thing happening in the lighting space. And so how many videos do we want to spend our time watching where we're basically
Mhm.
just watching a video about another camera that has one core feature? Then just make a video about that. It's the same camera,
Yeah.
but here's one thing about the camera that you need to know, and I'm going to teach you about it. So maybe it
Do
has
you
burst.
and due to a genuine question, I have in recent, I would say over the last year, just become kind of bored with kit.
Hmm.
You know, I've always been like a
Mm,
kit junkie, always been wanting the next thing, and
yeah.
I'm just not interested anymore to the extent that I was. Obviously, you're still looking for things that are going to make your life easier, but it's not that kind of obsession over the latest greatest.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, and I don't know if it's just me or if this is a general feeling. What are you two kind
I
of?
don't know. I'm just
I'm right there
laughing at
with you.
DJ.
I'm only
Yeah.
interested in it
Yeah.
from a like building things perspective. Like it's fun to mess with and you know like build cinebacks for. But when it comes to actual like I don't know if I'll ever do a review again. I might do a video like modding a camera.
Right.
But I'm right there with you. And I think that's part, you know, it was something romantic about everything sucking and trying to make it work because
Yep.
there's no other way.
Yeah.
There's no other
Yep.
way to make it work. So like
Yep.
the literally what started my channel or website was, you know, we got these DSLRs and they're really exciting and but they're awful. So how are we going to make this work? The other is, and with this whole thing with Gerald, with us talking about this, like I think it's an old guard lament. There's plenty of fresh blood that are just discovering, you know, oh, Black Pro Mist. What? Like what, you know, it's
Yep.
all new and fresh. And I mean, the three of us entered number of years into this,
Yep.
you know, 1+ decades. You know, I totally feel that. Like Ben, if I was shooting, you know, like this mix pre and this microphone and, you know, whatever the heck camera, don't even really care, and lens, and, you know, you're done. Rode, wireless,
Oh, I
pro,
know.
and you're
Yeah.
done.
And it tends
And who cares?
to be now that if I'm looking for something, so I'm looking for a piece of kit which is going to do a job for me. There's something that specifically that I need it for.
Right.
So it might be a light, it might be a mic, an audio system, whatever it is. So I'll kind of do a bit of basic research on that, but I don't even want to watch a video about it. I just want to find like a news shooter type article, skim it,
Yep.
and go like, is it any good? What are the major drawbacks of the thing?
Right.
And that's kind of it. But into that whole excitement about kit, which is kind of a shame to have lost it in a way because it was always that. You know, we've talked for however many
Mhm.
years we've been doing this and however many years we've known each other.
Half of
But
this
it's
title
always been
is
that kind of
gear.
Right.
yeah, exactly. And it just I don't know. I just don't feel. It's not a jaded generally. I'm just like, excited about work and things that are going on, but kit just doesn't. Maybe like you were saying, Jem. Maybe it's just all got so good, everything's great, and you were just saying, kind of about that you didn't really care what the camera was because it's all fine. It all does what it needs to do.
Hmm.
It's all kind of minute differences between things now, and yeah, I'm kind of over it all a little bit.
You'd have to pry that Mix Pre 6.2 out of my cold dead hands though. And you could probably
Yeah.
take, except for the nostalgic cameras, you could probably take any camera that's a new camera from me, and I'd be like, okay, I'll just replace it with something else. You know, I'll lean
Yeah.
towards certain cameras because for the content I'm creating, I've talked about this. I need a very reliable autofocus system, but even that's starting to even out, right? Canon's sort of
Yeah,
done their next phase of that, and we're going to start to see every camera company probably nail the AF thing because they know they need to keep selling cameras. But I think Ono's comment is probably pretty accurate. He says, as an example, I'll watch a lot of cam tech when I'm in the need of a new cam, but not so much otherwise. I
Hmm.
think the
yeah,
excitement of and yes, there's part of what you were saying, Caleb. You know, we've been doing this for a long time, and there's people excited about new things. But when it comes to, you know, sort of the excitement of it is shitty, another demonetized moment. And we're trying to make it work for us. You know, it's a camera that has a tiny sensor, but we want a 35 millimeter lens adapter because this is how we're going to get a certain look. And that's just sort of like really old school. And then the evolution of everything that's happened, it was always exciting because we were always discovering a new way to make a tool work for us. And right now, we're not necessarily having to work hard to make the tools work for us. We have to be good at our craft, but the tech is so good inside of them that it's almost like when you're ready to buy a car, right? Like when you're not ready to buy a car, you don't give a crap about what cars are out there. You're driving the car you're driving. And then you're like, okay, this car has enough miles on it, or my lease is about to end. And then you notice every single car that's on the market. You start to do research and things like that. And I kind of feel that way about cameras now. It's like when I'm ready for a new camera, you know,
Curtis
But
Judd
do you,
in the house, fellow video shooters
There
who
he
are on
is.
gear.
Wait, hey,
What is
Curtis.
up, Curtis?
Hey, good to see you.
Yeah. I literally the other day stumbled across, my phone was like, here's a memory, and it was Jem. I meant to text it to you. Curtis and I in a tier.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And
great.
Curtis, I've been
Good to see
watching
you,
a lot of your
Curtis.
content.
We should
recently.
catch up sometime.
Yeah. You're still killing it, and one of my favorite channels. So one of my favorite voices out there. Over, you know, even though I'm always looking up, but that's not a bad thing. So yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think, Caleb or Ben? You know, like that whole thing about like when you're ready for it, then you start to watch all the videos, but it's not like I'm seeking it out.
But I think the difference with me now, it's the same thing. I'm kind of seeking it out, and I find it more of a ball ache having to do that than it used to be, because I'm less excited by it, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I find it more of a kind of box ticking exercise. As you know, you want to make sure you're doing your research, doing your due diligence. You want to make sure you're getting the right tool for the job. But it's kind of lost that kind of excitement to a degree. It is really seeing things much more as tools now. And it may be just that everything's got so good. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
it's
I'm
just
the
me.
same as you. But I'm the same as you, Ben. I'm still excited about production. I'm still excited about doing the things that I'm doing.
Making
I'm just not seeking.
good things.
Yeah, but I'm seeking out different types of content now. Like I'm seeking out content. I mean, always food. That's fine, and looking at the production value of that and how people are doing it. But when I'm looking at content related to video production and filmmaking, it's more specific. Like I'm thinking about, how am I going to approach doing something from a tabletop standpoint or a product shot or something? And that's the type of stuff, like I'm looking for videos that have to do with how people approach creating certain types of content as opposed to gear and rigging and all of that. And not that that doesn't come into play sometimes when I'm in the need for a particular solution, then I'm going to go seek out content related to what might be the best for that. So yeah, I don't know. I think Ono has something there. It's like looking for it when you need it, meaning equipment. But it's not there was just a period of time, for me at least, and we were all sort of sitting in that. A lot of the people who were here in the chat were in it as well, where we were excited on a pretty regular basis about all of the stuff that was happening and the new tools that were coming out. Yeah, and it was solving problems.
Yeah.
It was basically, they were constantly coming out, the manufacturers, with equipment that were solving pain points for us. And we were solving pain points. Like, it doesn't do this for us, let's make it do that for us. So I don't know. I think, you know, but I'm still excited about production, even though I have no idea where this industry is going. So yeah. Shoji's coming in with some great questions here. I'm sorry, Shoji, I haven't pulled any of those out from your questions. Maybe we'll do this one for you guys. What prompted your last new camera purchase? Anybody want to? And people in the chat can step in on that. Yeah. Yep. And while you're thinking about that, I will answer the earlier question about where do you set your camera in terms of eye level. Generally, at eye level, most of the time for interviews and corporate content. Occasionally, we'll set the camera slightly lower so that the person is looking slightly down into the camera, and that gives them sort of a sense of altitude or knowledge. So if somebody's in a teaching position or they're talking about something they're an expert in, I'll tend to set the camera a little bit below eye level so that they're looking down in the camera, but not so much that they're looking down on the audience. It's just a slight thing. But anybody about the prompted new camera purchase? It can also just be a chat thing over here. Rick Beato.
For me,
yeah, go ahead. Watch that channel.
For me, it was the R5C was purely because I'm into the whole Canon ecosystem, but it was moving from bigger cameras back down into that form factor. Because I'm getting old and I'm tired and everything aches when I've been on a shoot all day and I'm carrying stuff around and I'm shooting handheld. And even with that, everything still aches. So that is kind of a big thing, and an ongoing big thing is weight, which it didn't used to be. It used to be a thing in terms of, what could I pack to take on flight? But it's now becoming a kind of a physical thing, as in, I don't want to be wrecking my body for too much longer and doing the kind of work that I do. It's kind of that thing of going, how much longer can you keep going with this? Because it hurts, even with cameras of that weight. So for me, everything's kind of weight wise, and it's that kind of trade off. And we'll see how things move on. But that was kind of the deciding factor on that camera for me with the last purchase.
Yep. Hold on, I'm just trying to answer a question. Hold on, you guys, hold on. Yeah, we're not as young as we used to be, for sure.
Mine was just a camera purchase to do another version of Cineback with, but otherwise, I just, for YouTube stuff, Sony A7C2. It's all you need.
Yeah,
easy,
and it's kind of
Stills,
the
video. I'm using it right now.
It's a little bit of a unicorn camera. I have it right up here, and I say that because it's not going to be the camera if you're going out into certain types of environments, certain types of temperatures and things like that. But the fact that it's a full frame camera that also has a true APS-C or Super 35 mode, you're not losing resolution when you do that. In an environment like this, USB-C powered, you can run that camera all of the time, and you have that flexibility of using full frame or crop sensor glass. Xavier, I'm not going to do a review of it, but I will create a video on this Axoon CineMaster 4K. So I have it in-house. I'm very impressed with this particular piece of kit in terms of a wireless transmitter and receiver, and the flexibility of what you can do when you're using an iPad or an iPhone, and the multiple kind of outputs and stuff. So it's a pretty cool piece of kit. They are a sponsor of the channel, but I try to pick stuff that I think is not only interesting, but it's pretty cool. So we'll see. It's not going to be a review though. So yeah, and then for me, it's always a decision for a camera, whether it's for a job, a one-off, you're doing a job and you're renting a camera, or you're purchasing. It's got to be based on the needs of what the project is or the type of content that you're going to create. But it's getting very blurry there, as Curtis is saying. It's sort of like the difference between the top of the line and sort of the other stuff that's below it. Like if you went out and bought an FX9 or a C400 or even a C80 or an FX6, and in the mirrorless space, some of these cameras that are out there, they're so dang good now that the difference is going to be what ports are on that camera to give you certain functionality, which of course you're addressing with Camera Foundry. If people are gravitating towards mirrorless cameras, or they've made that purchase and they need to have additional ports, different powering options, and different ways to sort of use that camera, that's kind of what the solutions are that you're providing there. But then some people are going to say, I don't want to do that, and they'll go with a C400 and they'll say, here's a box that has all of those things. Or they're going to go with a Komodo, or they're going to go with an FX series camera from Sony, or whatever it's going to be. There's so many options now, and And if you make the right choice, like Curtis is saying, you got a C70, it's doing everything he needs to do since 2020. Here we are 4 years later. We didn't have that before. You know, there was sort of this issue that there was enough issues with the camera that you had that a year or two later when the camera came out, it was solving so many technical problems that you felt compelled to upgrade. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't hard to upgrade from a Canon 7D to a different camera because the next iteration of that camera solved a lot of problems. I don't think we're dealing with
Yeah.
that very much. And the last sort of like, you know, the last part of that was when we started to get 10-bit 422 into virtually every camera, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that was a big change in terms of the quality of the picture that we could capture and what we could do with it. And you know, there's still other things I'd love to see, but the list is pretty small now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Burke. Sorry, Brick. I haven't got my glasses on, you see, now the thing.
Yeah.
Your question about getting into doing video and how to do it and video clubs and things. I mean, I would say find something that you're into that's not video, photo related, and go make content on that and then see if you can get into work that way. That's kind of how I got into doing video, from doing stills, which is my background. It was, you know, you're finding something that you like, go make videos for you, and that kind of cut your teeth that way, and then you'll kind of meet people in that world.
Yep. Good one from Harrison here. Question for the gang: when shooting for 9x16 and 16x9, do you ever shoot specifically vertical or just shoot wide so you can crop for both? I always shoot wide, then crop. I'll do my answer pretty quickly. I mean, unless you have a camera system that's like, you know, open gate 3.2 and you're capturing stuff, I tend to shoot vertically for certain things, and if I have the time. But there are a lot of projects where we say we're going to shoot for social and we're going to shoot 9x16, 16x9, or vice versa. And we wind up only being able to shoot 16x9, so we crop. There's a little bit more forgiveness. And what we do is we tend to shoot 4K and know that when we're going to go out for social, especially for places like Insta, you know, for X/Twitter, for, you know, for whatever the platform is going to be, that we're going to go out at 1080. So that gives us a little more flexibility. Whereas our deliverables for anything that's YouTube based for the final client product is going to be 4K UHD. So that's my answer. I don't know about you guys. Let me know.
I would say it's something that I get asked for a lot now, and it's increasingly becoming a package of stuff that you're delivering to clients. So it might be that you're doing a 16x9 kind of master, and that's going to be the film that's going out, and they're going to want a load of social cut from it. So it might be that we're delivering 3 social cuts, which are going to be 9x16, which again, as Jem says, will be normally, that's Insta, so that's 1080.
Yep.
But so when you're thinking about that and you're working out how you're going to do that for client, it's, you know, you're saying, right, well, I've got to be having that in mind when I'm shooting. It always goes out the window. I never really frame for that for 9x16. So I'm then cutting it out of a 4K, a 4K frame, and then just doing the best I can. And interestingly, now that people are wanting, a lot of businesses that I work for have now got in-house social media people. So it's now part of that package or in that negotiation, saying that they're going, can we have the raw footage? And this has been a bugbear from Stills days as well. Do you give them that? And in my opinion, you don't, because you've not done any of the color work on it. The stuff's going to come out in a log format. Is whoever's going to be dealing with that don't know how to deal with log? Maybe not. And if they don't do it well, and you then get tagged in stuff, Ben came and did this great stuff for us, and then it's all flat and looks horrible. So I will do a set of selects for them that have been graded to a kind of a base 709 kind of grade, and I'll give them a selection of cuts that they can then go and take those clips out and make social posts with. So, but I would say that it's in my mind when I'm quoting for it, when we're on the shoot, framing for that format, it kind of goes out a bit, but you can generally get away with things if you shoot everything in 4K.
Yeah.
Because it's all going on Insta 1080. You can get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's forgiveness.
Open gate camera, if you're going to do that a lot, Panasonic S5 2 or 2X, boom.
Yeah.
Shoot
Fuji,
everything.
you can do the XH2. What is it?
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to just think about composition and sort of center framing for stuff. And sometimes it's easier. Like, I have one of those small rig heads, which, you can shoot 16 by 9 and then you just press a button and then it goes 9 by 16. So that can be advantageous. It's just having the time to do it. But I do find
Depends
that
on the job.
No, it does. But I find that more and more, especially in the last year to 2 years, we are speccing out in proposals social media videos as part of the package, like you said. And so, we're doing it with purpose. And the more we can be specific in the proposal and the budget about what we're producing for the client, then it's sort of guiding our shot list to a degree because we know we need that. At the same time, sometimes it just doesn't happen and you've got to extract it from the horizontal or from the landscape video. So there you go. DJ says, I work for a social unit and we run into the issue where if we're not shooting 9 by 16 native, it's a problem because even you say UHD or barely makes full
UHD.
frame. Yeah. Agreed. Couple of quick questions in case you missed it. Shoji, this will be probably the last one we get to answer on this one. On the Sony full frame, well, I would say this is a question for any camera. What aspect ratio do you select for photos and why? I mean, if it's strictly for photos, probably 3:2, right? I mean, you're going to kind of do that, but it depends what the purpose is for the photos. And I think Ben can talk to this, but there are times where I'll set the camera to 16 by 9 because I know that that's what I'm going to use. But maybe you want to answer that one, Ben.
Yep. Open gate, whatever it is, whatever the maximum number of pixels that you can be getting off that sensor, whatever size that sensor is, every pixel you want to be recording, because you can then crop that out to whatever you need in post. And you may be thinking about that at the time of shooting if you know what your deliverables are going to be. But why hamstring?
I would say as a YouTuber, I shoot RAW and JPEG, and I set the camera to 16 by 9. So that when I'm taking the photos, I can, frame it for 69. But the beauty with RAW is no matter what you set it to, it's going to be 3:2 because
that's
it's raw.
true.
Yeah,
absolutely great.
So doesn't really matter.
Great answer.
But it's helpful to have the black bars on top and bottom so that you can frame it. Because the worst thing is when you frame for 3:2 and your final deliverable is 16:9 and all this stuff that you framed perfectly for this, now you've got to do this,
Right.
That's tough.
Right. Yeah. That's great,
that's
though.
Primal video. Good to see you, Justin.
Yep. Okay. We're getting near the end here, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of flown by. Flies.
Always does.
Flies by.
So, eyesight and being done with gear and
lava cats, all the fun stuff.
Lava cats.
3 dongles down.
Maybe I'll just do that. Just lava cat. Should I just do that? Lava cat.
Yeah, maybe I'll do 3 dongles down and you do lava cat. And
so what are we doing next time? When is next time? Are we going to do this in a month?
Yes, I would hope so. Well, usually what we do is we do our sort of year-end episode.
Feels like
right?
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness, December. Oh my goodness. What is happening?
I have a couple of ideas. The first idea that I have is that, I get to do every month I get to do a B&H giveaway of up to $500. So maybe what we'll do is for Camera Flask in December, we'll do that as part of the show. So we'll do like a little trivia thing and people can win some prizes. Wednesday, December 4th.
Like a Christmas quiz. That sounds great.
Christmas quiz. Let's do a Christmas quiz.
I've got one. I've got a question.
Yeah, tell me.
Would you post it now or at the end?
Post what?
Would you give the question now or next show?
No, live. Surely we do it live.
Live. It's a live
live
trivia or something like that. So and it
I
can
like
be
it.
We'll do like 5 questions each or 3 questions each we come up with.
Okay.
exactly, and they can
Okay.
be multiple
Okay.
choice, or
I've
they
already
just
got
have
a
to be
really
the
weird
accurate.
niche
Yes.
one.
Can
Talk
you
about.
send me? Okay. Can you send me an email after the show, Caleb? So
Yeah.
what we'll do is we'll do 3 to 5 prizes depending on what I find, but it'll be at least 3. And the great thing about B&H is, whoever wins, they don't even. It's like they're the winner. I send them the name, the address, the phone number, and they just ship it out, and it just goes out. So it's a beautiful thing. You have to be. You have. Let me modify this. You have to have a U.S. address. Okay. That's all I have to say. You have but I mean that's the reality. They have to ship it somewhere to the U.S. I know. I don't get to decide this. It's better than saying you have to be a U.S. resident. I've modified it to a U.S. address. You guys figure out what the hell you got to do out there in in interwebs land. But yeah.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Send it to drop
Jem's
ship
house.
to UK at
Thanks, Curtis.
whatever.
Appreciate it. And
Main
Scott, who
Street.
already dropped out of left. Get better, Brandon. Thank you,
Take it easy,
Shoji.
Curtis.
Yeah. So I think right now, is everybody currently okay with Wednesday, December 4th? Does that make sense for everybody? I mean, it's early in the month,
Yes.
but it's
Yeah, I
really
think
our
it's
Camera
good.
and Flask. So let's put that on the schedule. Caleb, you'll send me sort of your seed of an idea. Ben, if you can have
Yep.
a seed of an idea after you wake up tomorrow,
Okay.
It's kind of a
What?
sad question or sad
What
answer,
is?
but it's
What
the
is?
first one that popped in my head. A super niche question in our industry.
That's okay. Yeah, we gotta have a little dark, Like The Wrestler is one of my favorite movies. That's not uplifting, but it's a great film. So sometimes melancholy or sad is okay. Pat, stay safe out there, Mr. Firefighter. David, come on, you win too much. This is a great David Carroll's a good example, by the way. There was somebody asking about how they can get into things and start doing stuff. He just started doing. He started connecting.
Yeah.
He started making stuff, and you come a long way, kid. I got to say, I'm proud of you. You're doing stuff, and you're just doing it, and you're constantly doing it. So I know that your craft has gotten a lot better. All right, people are dropping off like flies here, but love you guys. Any parting words, Mr. Hitting the Gym, Caleb Pike, as somebody has made a comment in the chat? Anything, Caleb? Caleb Pike.
This is maybe a little too deep, but none of this stuff matters as much as people. So hang on to those you love and family and stuff
Family
like this.
first. Family
Who
first,
cares
friends
about cameras
first.
and lenses? Friends,
Yeah, it's
catching
fun.
up,
Yep.
human beings doing something in the world that's meaningful to you and those you love. I don't know why that popped in my head, but
I like that message.
I love this stuff. It's super fun, but it's seeing you guys, right?
Exactly.
And you guys in the chat and all that fun stuff. So yeah.
Yes. It's why we
Absolutely.
like. I think it's why
Merry
we
Christmas.
like doing this. And what? That's next month. Happy
That's right, yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
even
Thanksgiving.
if you're not in the U.S.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah. Gobble gobble. No, I totally agree, Caleb. I feel like we all have differences of opinions about certain things, but ultimately, if we can feel grounded that whether they're new friends or lifelong friends, that you keep them as friends. It's healthy to have different opinions. It doesn't have to be confrontational,
Yes.
but it's family first, friends first, and this doesn't really matter. But we all have to do something every day, and this is the path we chose.
Yes.
All this crap, and
that
creating
matters.
stuff.
That vocation,
Yes.
what you're doing with your life, those things matter. But I'm not trying to bum out any gearheads out there, but
Yep.
just appreciate, you reach a certain point when that's the stuff that's forever, right? People,
Exactly.
relationships, all that good stuff.
It is, and everything you work-wise, everything the job that's good, every job that's been meaningful, that's been enjoyable, that you're proud of, that's been something that you've done as a collective with people. And go out, meet your go make friends with your competitors. That's always my best bit of advice with that stuff.
Yeah.
Make them your friends, then you'll end up working with them, and then you pass work each other's way, and it all just blooms and becomes a bigger, better thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
As much as don't the temptation to always be kind of narked when your competitors are doing really well. Just reach out, meet them for coffee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so rare with me. Every now and again, but you gotta make friends, do stuff together. It's good.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, love you guys, and we'll be back next month with more content and a contest or trivia or crap like that, something like that. And get better, Brandon. And you miss Curtis, Linda.
Yep,
sorry, I don't know what Thanksgiving is over means. It's my favorite holiday, but I'm ready. Let's do it. Cooking time. All right, kids. All the best.
Love it.
Love you. Bye.
All right.